For me, one of the things that is just really humbling is to look back over life, and especially at this stage of life, as you know, you get a little bit older, you look back and you see the thread that God's kind of woven through your life. I realized that even early on in my young teen years, God was already building like a burden and a compassion for the city and for people experiencing the social issues, the pain, brokenness, you know, without Christ. And it's humbling to look at how God directs our steps, because it really points to just the grace and mercy of our Father who creates us with purpose. In my college years, God placed a young woman who was from the Bronx down the hall in my dorm. And we immediately became fast friends after we had been on a bus together for a field trip. And she was a new believer who was coming out of a crack addiction, and she just had a real love for Jesus. God really used that friendship to begin to show me some of the hard realities of addiction. And he used it also just to break down some walls in me and really to change probably the box that I had kind of put God in. It was around that same time that I kind of came face to face with some of my own brokenness and some of my pain. I think what I saw and learned through that experience was that the road and the journey to healing and freedom is often long. Those early things in my life really just shaped this desire to see the hope of Jesus in the broken places in our lives. In 1994, my husband and I had recently come back to Lancaster, and I took a job as a home health nurse. And I remember hearing an ad on the radio for Water Street. And they were looking for nurse volunteers at the medical clinic that was fairly new. When I heard that ad, it was like an immediate response for me, because it was a result of what God had been stirring in my heart for years already. At that point in my life, I was 27, but you know, I had already seen that thread that he was weaving through my life. And so that's what I believe, you know, led me to Water Street, and I also believe that's why I'm still here.
Jean was one of the first people I met when coming to Water Street back in 2015. And I could see right away what an amazing heart that she had. There's been many times Jean and I will sit in the office and be praying together about a patient and cry together about a patient, depending on what the situation is. But she never gives up. Folks that have addiction problems or other issues, that she will continue just to be with them and to love them and pray for them, and be not just their nurse, but their friend and a true caregiver. Jean is the epitome and example of what it means to be a servant leader. She gives 110%, giving rides to patients when they need them, picking them up after surgery or cancer treatments, spending time sometimes on the weekend with them to talk with them and to minister to them, and just has a heart for all the people that walk through our doors.
One of my favorite verses is from Philippians 2, and it says, you know, if you have any encouragement from being united with Christ, if any comfort from his love, if any fellowship with the Spirit, if any tenderness or compassion, then make my joy complete by being like-minded and having that same love. And I feel as Christians we're called to love our neighbors. We're called to share what we receive from Christ. We're called to give. There are, you know, many times when patients may not be wanting or willing or able to truly engage their health care and engage wellness, or maybe their health does decline in ways that are outside of their control. I really try to focus then on how can I love this person in the midst of a health crisis, and how can I share the love of Jesus with them at that point. We are all broken, and we are all experiencing brokenness in our lives, and it may look different, very different from one person to the next, but we're all broken. And so what we receive from Jesus in our brokenness is just an opportunity then to pass on that hope to someone else in their brokenness.